guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got another San Martin, but this is not just a normal San Martin. It was sent over to the channel. I bought a few watches. This is the one that they gave me for free. That's why you'd have seen includes paid promotion at the top corner, whichever corner that was. But it's one that I found really intriguing. I've mentioned this before. The Omega Seamaster is my holy grail, the watch that I want. It's my grail watch, as we say. And I'm nowhere near being able to get it. So I've tried a few different Homage watches. None of them have quite stuck. I have said before as well that I was hoping San Martin would do their own sort of iteration on it, because I feel like it would be a good fit. I think San Martin do excellent watches, and it could be one that could scratch the itch for me for a while. This came up, and I've got it in. It's not exact Homage. There's subtle differences, but there's enough about it. But will it scratch the itch? Will it scratch my itch? Will it scratch your itch if you want the same watch? Well, hopefully throughout this video, you'll have enough of an opinion by the end of it to know whether you should pick one up. Really excited to get this watch in, and I'm really hoping it's one that stays in my collection. But time will tell. But guys and girls, thank you for tuning back in. I do really appreciate all your support. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. As you can see, it comes in the obligatory San Martin packaging. I've taken this thing off because what I've found, this is the foam card it comes on. I found once you adjust the bracelet, it's a bit of a pain to get back on this. So I've taken it off for the purposes of the review. But and here's the watch. Yeah, cool looking piece. Let me just put that to the side. Show you the usual stuff. So if you open it up, it comes with you can see I've taken 3 links off. I've put them inside the cellophane part of the wrapping that comes on the watch, just so it doesn't scratch anything. But yeah, there's the hang tang, screwdriver and watch removal tool. As you can see, it's the warranty card is signed. It tends to be the case with San Martin. But that's all that good stuff. I'm getting a little bit better as well at taking this bit of foam out. I'm not going to lie, the first couple of times I was really struggling. But I'm getting a lot better at it now. But yeah, so let's move on to the watch. And here it is. Beautiful piece. The model number for this is the SN088-G. Inside it's running it's a YN55A movement. It's an Orient movement. I'll bring some details up of it now. 22 joules, 21,600 beats per hour. A good alternative at the moment, guys, to be honest, given the issues that there has been with sort of getting people their hands on the Seiko NH series of movement. So not a bad movement at all. If you've had an Orient watch, such as, I don't know, a couple of their dive watches, for instance, slips my memory up right now, but yeah, you'd have had this in there. So yeah, good old reliable movement. So yeah, not a problem at all. The construction of this watch, aside from the crystal and the bezel insert, is all stainless steel. That's 316L. So that is the rest of the bezel, crown, case back, the case itself, solid end links, bracelet, clasp, but all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of this watch is 13.4 millimeters. The case diameter, I normally measure it in at 8 to the 2. It came in at 42 millimeters. When you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it did come in at 46.2 millimeters. The lug width is 20. That does taper down to 18 and then back up to 20 at the clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 49.5. That does overhang by a bit of a distance, actually, so it does come in at 53.7 millimeters, given the fact that there has got sort of like, given the conformation of the end links, but has got male end links of the center links. There's 2 there, so it does overhang just a little bit, as you can see. See, that does become 53.7 millimeters. The case back style is screwed down and done quite nicely, actually. I know you wouldn't expect anything less from San Martin at this point, but yeah, done nicely, screwed down. You won't be able to use the normal sort of tool you would use to unscrew it. but you'll be able to open it up if you need to. The bezel is a ceramic bezel, and it's a 120 click unidirectional bezel. I'll let you have a listen. Not bad, not my favourite bezel that's come on a San Martin watch, if I'm honest. It lines up nicely. Let me just give it a quick wipe. But yeah, the clicks are okay, but not my favourite, as I've kind of said. So yeah, the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock, and it is a signed crown. If you can get a good look at that, it's a signed crown. The bracelet it's a stainless steel bracelet, as I've said. Quite nice. It's one link made to like 5, and you've got a mixture of mainly brushing, but the inner part of the links on the 2 center links, the outer, are polished, so that's a bit of contrast and plays with the light nicely. They are screw pins, and there's been no issues actually with sizing it. It was nice and easy, no problems whatsoever. And the clasp, yeah, they sticking with this clasp now, which is good because I think it's a nice clasp. You do get different sizes, and this has got 4 levels of micro adjustments, just so you know. Fully mill clasp, signed. The crystal on that dial, probably unsurprisingly, is sapphire crystal, but I do like a bit of sapphire crystal covering the dial on my watches. And the water resistance also, you'll see down at the 6 o'clock position, is 200 meters, so that would give you 20 atmospheres of water resistance. And the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's just below 165 grams. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So what you've got a raised readout with a minute track. You've also got it counts up in 5s, so every 5 you've got numbers or numerals. Just inside that, you've got applied battens, slightly larger batten at the 12, again slightly bigger. So largest battens at the 12, slightly smaller at the 3, 6 and 9, and then even smaller still everywhere else. Just below the batten at the 12, you've got the San Martin logo, the hexagonal logo applied onto the dial. Just above the batten at the 6, you've got automatic 200 meters equals 660 feet. Let me just undo the crown. This is a hacking hand winding movement, as you would have seen when I brought up information of the movement. So if I take it out, I'll put it over to sort of the 20 past 8 position, so you can have a look at the dial properly. And I'll bring some information up actually now, guys, of the loom. The loom on this is actually pretty cool. All loomed, the hands, indices, and the bezel, so that gives you a good bit of loom on there, and it's applied pretty well as well. Not the best that I've had on San Martin, but definitely not the worst either. So yeah, decent loom. But yeah, as I said, the movement, hacking hand wind, it does have a ghost position. Unfortunately, if you take it out to the 2nd position, it will hack. You take it out to the 1st position, nothing will happen because you can scroll through the dates. But again, take it out, hack, put it back in. Once it's in the neutral position, you've unscrewed it from the case. You can charge it by turning the crown, and that'll just put some juice into it in case you haven't worn it for a little while. And then you can just screw the crown back up. The crown's nice actually, guys. Engages really well with the watch. Good size, and even the lugs, the crown guards, they offer a good amount of protection for the crown. Just about right actually. Finished nicely. But that's the dial. Nice matte blue dial, and the colour they've used from the dial to the bezel matches quite nicely, as you'll be able to see. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the movement. That's the loom. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference, and this is what it looks like on me. Decent size, decent bit of heft, but I'd say just not too big. Even the fact it's got male wind links to the center link, it doesn't wear too big. I think it wears pretty nicely on my wrist. And as I say, my wrist is really just above an average sort of wrist size, so I think it's going to be okay for you for multiple wrist size. As you saw at the start, I took a few links out, so I think I took 4 out, didn't I? So that would allow you to go up to sort of 8.5, probably, maybe even close to 9, and you still got a couple, like 3 links you can still take out, plus levels of micro adjustment. So in terms of the fit, you're going to be fine with this watch. But that now take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants is, I'd go with the bezel. As I've already said, not my favourite bezel. The clicks, they sound okay. Yeah, not my favourite. It doesn't feel as tactile as some of their others. The ghost position on the movement, I've said it once, I've said it a million times at this point. I'd rather them use a movement with no date, if they're going to not offer no date on the dial. And finally, the male end links are the centre link. So I'd rather them use female end links just to let it hug the wrist a little bit more. On my wrist, it wasn't a problem, but I could see why it may be a problem for other people's wrist sizes. So yeah, I'd rather female end links on there. So just to surmise what I think is pants, I'd go with the bezel. In terms of the clicks, a bit tinny, not as the best sort of tactile bezel I felt. The ghost position on the movement and the male end links of the centre link, I'd rather them be female. And what I think is Pukka is, yeah, you always knew I was going to say this, the sapphire crystal. I love a bit of sapphire crystal. The hands and indices, I love the fact that as much as they're homaging the Omega Seamaster, there's a few different variants that they've done in terms of, they not offer skeleton hands and stuff. They've not gone for a direct copy. The hands and indices are different, which I like. The crown, as I said, it's the crown in terms of the signage on there, in terms of being quite pronounced. The fact that it's the knurling's done good on it. The fact it's a good size. The crown's cool. The bracelet, yeah, the bracelet's nice, guys. Nice finishing on there. Nice tolerances. Feels good. The clasp, yeah, at this point I think we're getting a bit spoiled with San Martin in terms of it. This clasp is really, really nice. The finishing on it, it's all milled. Very, very good clasp. The fit and finish of the watch generally, in terms of the brushing, the tolerances, it's basically all the watch basically is all brushed. A couple little elements in terms of faceted edges and parts on the bracelet, but yeah, for the most part it's brushed and done very, very well. Yeah, so the fit and finish is done outstanding, really. And the aesthetic, in terms of, I've been crying out for Omega Seamaster Homage, and I was waiting for San Martin to go ahead of one. This isn't a direct one, it's not going to be exact, but I've got to say, guys, it's enough for me to be happy with. It's the best one I've held in terms of the homaging, or homage to the Omega Seamaster. This one's done to a much better standard than all the rest I've had. So yeah, just to surmise what I think is Pukka, as I'd go with the sapphire crystal, the hands and indices, the crown, bracelet, clasp, fit and finish, and the aesthetic in terms of what they've homaged and how they've done it. And then, guys, that would take me on now to would I recommend this watch? And I definitely would. It's not perfect, but for me personally, I think this is the best homage of the Seamaster that I've had in, and I would definitely recommend getting one. So guys, yeah, I'd recommend this. But guys and girls, let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care, guys. All the very best.